Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Kody Brown has made no secret of his desire for everything in his life to be pretty, including his wife Robin and his hair. However, his son-in-law Tony Padron and daughter Mykelti claim that Kody's own children also seem to have same choice. The Sister Wives actors talked about Kody's fixation with appearance and how it influenced his decision to prioritize one of his 18 children over another in a new Patreon video that they posted to their YouTube channel. Tony stated, "I will say that Kody definitely does have a very big preference for pretty things. He like it when his boys and girls are attractive. I believe this is the reason he consistently claimed that Aspen was his favorite." Mykelti was shocked to learn that Kody had publicly declared Aspen, his oldest daughter and the second-born child in the Brown family, to be his favorite. However, she acknowledged that it appeared that way because of Kody's prior behavior. "He just acts like that, he never said that," Mykelti said. Tony, however, said that he had overheard Kody declare Aspen to be his favorite child. "I don't want to hear that as the second child, who is insecure." Christine, Kody's third ex-wife, is Mykelti's mother, she stated. "Aspen being the favorite is already causing me problems as a child. He used to mention Aspen as his favorite, I recall." Tony stated that she was constantly prettied up, which was one of the reasons. "I didn't say it, he did. I simply recall him uttering those words." Mykelti acknowledged earlier in the webcast that her father has always valued well-groomed individuals. Mykelti went on to say, "He likes put together," before adding that, like Robin now, Kody's mother always took the time to get herself dressed, groomed, and wearing pearls at the start of each day. Christine revealed her ex-husband's fixation on his wife's hair, cosmetics, and attire during the most current season of Sister Wives. She disclosed that Kody frequently contrasted Robin's appearance with that of his prior three spouses, Christine, Mary, and Janelle. He enjoyed wearing cosmetics. In an April episode, Christine remarked, "It was like, you had to always look nice. It was very important to him." Christine claims that Robin frequently spent more time getting herself Kody ready than the other ladies, which led to Kody giving her more attention. Regarding Kody's shallow actions, Christine remarked, "It's no wonder I was always wondering and insecure because, as much as I was comparing, he was also comparing us to Robin all the time. Robin was exalted while the rest of us were simply subpar. I thought I wasn't doing enough in the relationship." Mary also recounted her ex-husband's fixation on appearance in the same show. Mary said, "Kody has always wanted those around him to look good. He wanted me to look good, so when we first started dating, he would take me out and buy clothes." Mykelti said during their most recent live stream that she never was and never needed to be Kody's favorite child. She did, however, assert that there was a brief instance during which she believed she shared her father's prized title of favorite child. Mykelti, the fifth of Kody's 18 children, said, "I think there was a time when I was his favorite, but he never said it. I believe there was a period there when I was the favorite for a short while. You were the ultramediator for everything for 2 seconds, Tony said. This time frame most likely occurred soon following Christine's separation from Kody. Mykelti continued to visit Kody and Robin and attempt to patch up some of the family's tense ties, despite the fact that the majority of Kody's adult children have little to no relationship with him. However, Mykelti revealed in a September Patreon account remark following her brother Garrison's funeral that she no longer felt the same way about Robin because of recent occurrences. According to Mykelti, she gave birth to her twins, Archer and Ace, around the same time, which Tony claimed helped a lot to improve her relationship with Kody. Although Mykelti was Kody's favorite child for a brief time, she acknowledged that she performed well among her mother Christine's 6 children. "Mom also despises the word favorite," Mykelti remarked. "I won't claim to be her favorite because she detested it, but she did find it enjoyable when I had the twins. I was really awesome or something." In a jaw-dropping interview that left fans stunned and sent the Sister Wives universe into total meltdown mode, Mykelti Brown and her husband Tony Padron pulled no punches when they opened up about the long-standing favoritism that allegedly shaped and scarred the Brown children's lives, and at the center of their stunning revelation is none other than Aspen Brown, Michael T's older sister, whom they claim was Kody Brown's undeniable favorite child for one painfully superficial reason: she was always prettied up. That's right. In an emotional and shockingly blunt discussion, the couple revealed that from a young age, Aspen was treated differently by Kody, receiving more attention, more praise, and more fatherly warmth than many of the other kids, all because of how she presented herself. Michael T didn't hold back. She was just always the one who looked perfect, she said. Her hair was done. Her clothes were clean and stylish. She had that polished, sweet, soft-spoken vibe that Kody liked. And yeah, I was angry about it. For a long time. Still am, if I'm honest. Tony backed up his wife's claims, adding, "It was obvious. Everyone saw it. Kody gravitated to the kids who made him look better. And Aspen? She fit the image. The others? If you had big feelings, messy emotions, or didn't play the part, he tuned you out." The comments, which were reportedly made during a podcast appearance that quickly went viral, have reignited fierce debate among fans and reignited old wounds for many of the Brown kids, some of whom have already come forward in recent years with stories of emotional neglect, blatant favoritism, and fractured relationships with their father. But this is the first time a sibling has publicly called out another sibling as the favorite, and done so in such painfully honest terms. Michael T's emotional tone during the interview was raw. She explained that while she loves her sister deeply, the contrast in how they were treated growing up left a lasting impact. It wasn't Aspen's fault. She didn't ask to be treated like a doll. But Kody made her the example. She was the good daughter. She was everything the rest of us were supposed to aspire to. Quiet, beautiful, agreeable. And if you weren't that, you didn't get his time. The statement sent shockwaves through the fanbase, not just because it exposed yet another crack in the Brown family dynamic, but because Aspen has long been considered the most peaceful, reserved, and drama-free of the Brown children. And yet, beneath that calm exterior may have been a reality far more complicated, one where the appearance of perfection came with the price of being placed on a pedestal that alienated her from her siblings. This stunning moment of truth-telling from Michael T and Tony has also triggered fierce speculation about what other children in the family felt but never said. Fans have flooded Reddit and TikTok with theories about who else Kody favored and ignored, from Gabriel and Garrison being punished for standing up to him, to Isabel being cast aside during her scoliosis surgery crisis, to Leon being misunderstood in their transition, and even to Truly, Christine's youngest, being treated with detachment after her mother left. But the Aspen revelation is different because it centers on aesthetic-based favoritism, on surface-level affection, on the chilling idea that a father's love wasn't equally distributed, but earned through appearance, personality, and compliance. It cuts to the heart of the emotional rot that has long festered beneath the Brown family's plural structure. That love was conditional, and Kody, the man who claimed to be guided by God's principles of fairness and unity, was, in reality, a man whose attention came with invisible strings and visible preferences. Even more unsettling is the fact that this dynamic wasn't just felt by the kids, but reinforced by the adults. Michael T admitted that Christine, her mother, noticed the difference. "My mom saw it. She didn't like it. But she was already juggling so much, her own loneliness, raising so many kids, and she didn't feel like she could confront Kody without it backfiring." In fact, Michael T's voice cracked when she described how, as a little girl, she would try harder to get her dad's attention. "I remember brushing my hair a certain way, or dressing up a little more, just hoping he'd say something nice. He rarely did." Tony added that Michael T often struggles with internalized self-worth issues, and while therapy has helped, the wounds of being a lesser child in a public family structure are still healing. And then, of course, there's Robin, whose entrance into the family only made the favoritism worse. According to Michael T, once Robin joined, Aspen wasn't the favorite anymore. Robin's kids were. And that, ironically, may have freed Aspen from the pressure of being the perfect one, but it left a trail of emotional confusion in its wake. What makes this revelation even more dramatic is how quiet and reserved Aspen has been throughout the entire Sister Wives saga. She rarely appears on camera, she doesn't engage in social media drama, and she has kept her personal life extraordinarily private. But now, her sisters, Mykelti and Gwendolyn, are speaking loudly, and fans are wondering whether Aspen will finally break her silence. Because if this favoritism shaped the Brown household, it shaped her too. Did she feel the weight of being the example? Did she know her siblings resented her? Was she playing a role to stay safe? Or did she feel the pressure of perfection more than anyone ever realized? These are the questions now bubbling beneath the surface of a family already on emotional life support, and the answers may explode the mythology of Brown family unity forever. What's clear now is that the story of Sister Wives was never just about the wives. It was about the children growing up in a house divided by silent hierarchies and unspoken emotional debts. And Mykelti's brave confession is the latest crack in the dam. "I'm tired of pretending we all had the same experience," she said. "We didn't. Some of us were loved. Some of us were useful. And some of us were just there." And as fans continue dissecting every clip, every old photo, every family gathering, they're beginning to see it too. The way Kody lights up around the polished, the compliant, the camera-ready. The way his love seemed performative, and how the children had to adapt, twist, or shrink to fit into whatever mold he praised that day. Mykelti's words have done more than expose favoritism. They've shattered the illusion that all Brown children were treated equally, and now, the world is watching, waiting, and wondering who else might step forward with their own truth. Because if the Brown kids are finally talking, this may just be the beginning of a reckoning no one, not even Kody, is prepared to face. As Mykelti's words continue to send shockwaves across the Sister Wives fandom, the fallout has moved beyond the fanbase and straight into the fractured emotional terrain of the Brown children themselves, many of whom are now confronting painful memories they spent years trying to forget, repress, or simply survive. The idea that Kody openly or subconsciously favored one daughter over the others based on appearances has touched a nerve that runs deeper than any on-camera argument or televised breakup. Because it's not just about favoritism, it's about identity, about validation, and about growing up in a house where the love you received or didn't depended on how well you fit into your father's public image of acceptable. Mykelti's claim that Aspen was Kody's favorite because she was always prettied up wasn't just an emotional admission, it was a cultural detonation. It cracked open the truth about how beauty standards, compliance, and emotional repression were rewarded in the Brown household, and how difference, independence, and messiness were either quietly shunned or blatantly dismissed. Multiple sources now say that this claim has triggered deep discomfort among the older Brown siblings, especially the daughters, who for years have tiptoed around the question of who mattered most to Kody and why. Privately, some of the girls have allegedly admitted that there was always an unspoken tier system when it came to their father's affection. One source close to the family says, if you looked the part, quiet, sweet, soft-spoken, camera-ready, you got more. If you were bold, opinionated, or emotionally complicated, you got ignored. It's a damning accusation, one that aligns not only with how Kody has treated his wives, but now, frighteningly, how he may have treated his daughters. And it doesn't stop with Aspen. Mykelti hinted that other sisters, like Isabel, Gwendolyn, even Savannah, were treated as less than if they didn't conform to what Kody viewed as ideal daughter behavior. Isabel was in pain for months, Mykelti said, referring to her sister's scoliosis journey. He didn't show up. But if one of the kids smiled pretty and sat quietly, he was right there, praising them. The emotional inequality wasn't subtle. It was patterned. And now, the siblings are finally putting the pieces together. The most gut-wrenching part of all this? Aspen herself may have never wanted to be the favorite. According to close family acquaintances, Aspen, who has long stayed away from the spotlight and built a quiet, private life in Utah, is devastated by the comments, not because she denies them, but because they open a door she's tried to keep closed for years. Aspen never asked for that role, the source said. She was just trying to stay out of the chaos. But it became clear early on that being soft, agreeable, and composed earned her more warmth from Kody and less emotional punishment. For Aspen, the favorite child status may not have felt like a privilege at all. It may have been a survival strategy. A way to stay visible in a family where love was conditional and attention was currency. Fans now wonder, was Aspen the favorite, or was she the most invisible version of herself to stay safe? Did she bury her own big feelings, her own insecurities, just to keep Kody from pulling away the way he did with so many others? These are the haunting questions now rising to the surface, and while Aspen has yet to speak publicly, the emotional weight of her silence is deafening. Meanwhile, Mykelti's confession has started a domino effect among the other siblings, particularly those who are never treated as the pretty, polished children. Gwendolyn, outspoken and authentic, has already shared her struggles with Kody's dismissive treatment, particularly after coming out as queer. "I wasn't what he wanted," she said in a previous video, "and I stopped trying to be." Now, with Mykelti validating that this ideal daughter mold was real, Gwendolyn is reportedly considering speaking out again, this time in a more formal interview. Isabel, too, has remained notably quiet since the scoliosis surgery ordeal, but sources say Mykelti's remarks have reopened painful wounds for her as well. And Savannah, sweet and quiet like Aspen but lacking the princess polish Kody allegedly preferred, is now navigating life with a father who has all but vanished. The siblings' group chats, according to insiders, have been tense. Some are angry, some are reflective. But one thing is clear, no one is denying what Mykelti said. And that, perhaps, is the most telling part of all. Tony Padron's role in this bombshell moment shouldn't be overlooked either. His willingness to back up his wife's claims, and add his own perspective as a now longtime observer of the Brown family, gives the statement even more credibility. Tony isn't just an in-law. He's been in the family long enough to see the patterns, and he didn't mince words. "I watched how Kody treated the girls," he said. "If you challenged him, you were a problem. If you were soft and pretty, he praised you until Robin's kids came along. Then it all changed." That last comment hit hard for fans who have long speculated that Kody transferred his favoritism almost entirely to Robin's children, treating Dayton, Rora, and Brianna as his real family, while the rest of the kids became afterthoughts. And now, with Tony saying it out loud, that theory doesn't feel like speculation anymore. It feels like confirmation. Fans are demanding answers. Reddit threads have exploded. YouTube commentary is relentless. People want to know, where is Kody? Why hasn't he responded? And what about Robin? Does she deny this favoritism, or is she quietly watching the legacy unravel from the sidelines? TLC producers are reportedly scrambling. Season 20 filming has already begun, but now they're reworking the structure entirely to include off-camera truth confessionals, where the adult kids will be invited to share their real experiences, unfiltered, unedited, and unscripted. Whether Aspen participates remains unclear, but producers are allegedly desperate to get her voice. Because if she steps forward and confirms what Mykelti said, it won't just validate the claim. It will shatter the final illusion of Kody as a father who tried his best. It will recast him as a man who chose emotional comfort over connection, a man who only leaned in when the cameras were on, or when the child before him reflected back the version of himself he wanted the world to see. And that, perhaps, is what hurts the most. The idea that some of the Brown kids weren't just ignored, they were inconvenient to the brand. Their emotions, their pain, their unique identities didn't fit the polished plural family image Kody tried so desperately to project. And now, as that image finally collapses, what's left is a trail of children, now grown adults, picking through the rubble of a father's love that was filtered, fractured, and deeply conditional. Mykelti and Tony didn't just say the quiet part out loud. They opened the floodgates. And as more truths come forward about favoritism, neglect, and the emotional cost of being raised in Kody Brown's orbit, one thing is clear. Sister Wives is no longer about plural marriage. It's about what happens when the children finally start talking. Tony stated, "I will say that Kody definitely does have a very big preference for pretty things. He like it when his boys and girls are attractive. I believe this is the reason he consistently claimed that Aspen was his favorite. Mykelti was shocked to learn that Kody had publicly declared Aspen, his oldest daughter and the second-born child in the Brown family, to be his favorite. However, she acknowledged that it appeared that way because of Kody's prior behavior. He just acts like that. He never said that, Mykelti said. Tony, however, said that he had overheard Kody declare Aspen to be his favorite child. I don't want to hear that as the second child who is insecure. Christine, Kody's third ex-wife, is Mykelti's mother, she stated. Aspen being the favorite is already causing me problems as a child. He used to mention Aspen as his favorite, I recall. Tony stated that she was constantly prettied up, which was one of the reasons. I didn't say it, he did. I simply recall him uttering those words.